We were back at Ellis Park, back smelling boerewors sizzling over the coals in the braai area. Back with cold castle lager in our hand, back with the aeroplanes flying over the stadium before kickoff. Back watching the two best teams in the world go head to head. Back facing down the haka, back playing against the All Blacks. But sadly, that was about as close as we got to the happy memories of 1995. Because after leading by 1 point at half-time, the Boks imploded. And they lost the game significantly by 17 points. Welcome back to The Verdict. I'm joined by Shimmy and Scala. Thank you very much, Freddie, for my introduction today, because what we experienced on Saturday was, as Skalk mentioned as well, the rope-a-dope in Joburg. Muhammad Ali showed us how to do it back then, and New Zealand this weekend took all the shots, but they were able to take it in and then give some as well at the end and give South Africa one of the biggest losses they've had in a significant time.
Was that AI, John?
Yeah. No, that was Freddie.
Well done, that's good reading.
That's Freddie.
The rope-a-dope.
Free AI, the rope-a-dope.
The rope-a-dope, that's actually a very good analogy for it.
You know, after the game...
The rumble in the jungle, the concrete jungle.
Exactly. Yes. Skull and I spoke after obviously now we're all done with whatever, and now he's done with the rap post game. I did some stuff for Sky News, and he was like talking about, no, you know, he said after the game it was like the rope. I'm like, I said exactly the same on Sky News.
No, just for context, John's down on the field. I'm upstairs on the sixth floor.
Yeah.
Felt like it. Like the Boks dominated in such important areas for them. The kicking game, contestable kicking game, not the long kicking game, scrums, physicality, carries. If there is any doubt about how dominant we were, physicality, post-contact meters, Shimmy, you mentioned it in commentary. But then if there's a stat that the Boks were not good at, is error rate and unforced errors. And to compound that, it was where they made those errors. In the red zone, on attack, in 22. And then on top of that, there was a couple of big moments that went against the Boks, which obviously just amplified the All Blacks. And they grew an arm and a leg, I feel, after Fabian Holland's charge down on Grant.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Another analogy. We got onto the green for 2, and then we were 3-putting, 4-putting the whole time.
Something Shimmy was very good at on Thursday.
That's what it felt like. We were there, but we weren't getting that. We weren't converting. We weren't getting that pattern. So it hurt us at the end. But also, well done to New Zealand, Scala. You got to say, you know, they showed guts, they showed heart. And that's what you're going to see when guys are playing for their country. New Zealand was celebrating. We were sad in the stadium there. People walked out. But it is what it is. But we go again this weekend.
But it was almost as comfortable at the end as it was surprising. You know, because you know, at one stage you thought like, the dam wall would break from a South African point of view, you know, with all of that pressure, and then they were able to take in all of that pressure, take all of those punches, and once the opportunity came about for them, they were so clinical.
How many times have you been involved in those games? We've got all the dominance. You work so hard for no reward, and that's through errors, or that's through having your opportunities, not taking them, or the opposition, in this case New Zealand, being outstanding. And all of a sudden, when they get one opportunity, one entry, they score without working very hard. 1-2 phases, score. Charge down, score. You know, like it's games like that, like the big moments went all to the All Blacks. I do think there's a couple of things, and we've now had a few beers to digest this game. And I'd like to pick your brains on it. Obviously, the Boks start. Curtly Orense gets a HIA. So you never think that's a permanent sub. You think he's coming back. The Boks were bullying the All Blacks in the start. Andre Esterhuizen comes on, scores a cracker try. The Giant runs over Moorby. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on, but as a backline, because what happened subsequently, Orense doesn't come on.
Jesse goes to
spends the entire game on the wing. Grant Williams moves to wing. Kobus Reinach moves to 9. Just for keeping that backline synchronized. That was the one thing I think maybe we could have done a little bit different. And this is hindsight, like it's always a perfect science. And the other thing for me is when we had all the dominance, threw them all in the beginning, 3 penalties, 4 penalties, the penalty count was stacking up. And then the scrum in the second half, not once did we put Matthew Carley on an ultimatum. To say 3 in a row, next one goes to the bin.
And in crucial areas also, Scala, repeat Free plays the whole time. I mean, there's a stage in the 22 meter where there's a sequence of penalties, and you're like, when's the warning coming?
Yeah.
And that's when Matthew Colley's been strong. You know, you go back to that test before the World Cup in France.
And was it the Irish game? Was it the
Irish game also? And you sort of understand that the plan. They would have done the ref profiling, saying Colley actually wants a change in behaviour, and he'll keep penalising until then probably give yellow cards. Hence a scrum sequence where you keep going. But are you right about the big moments? It was the big moments. I mean, you look at Malcolm Marx. How many times have we seen him score a try close to the line, knocked on? The kickoff straight after, I think was it Holland's try when we went in scrum on the halfway line.
Gerard's then comes scrum.
So there's a lot of big moments that we lost. But look, we also did a lot of good things. You know, you look at the physicality, the discipline, how we stopped them on the gain line, how we managed to get over the ball because of good tackle technique. So, you know, it's one of those, you know, you blink against New Zealand, unfortunately, you know, they can turn and transition as quicker than any other team in world rugby.
They so we'll go through all of that. We'll look at those actual moments, you know, those time frames where just before halftime where we were so dominant, no reward for it. You know, the 51st to the 56th minute, total dominance, no reward for it, and they turned around. So we'll get into all of that. But what I wanted to say, the Ellis Park as a fortress, New Zealand have now won 4 out of the last 6 at Fortress Ellis Park. Mert spoke last week about, you know, our dominance there. Are we losing the edge in terms of that?
You go back, Australia last year.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest, none of us saw this coming.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Cape Town for me was always tricky. New Zealand support, you don't know what the weather's going to be like, wet field. You know, it's a different game. It's sort of, you know, you get paid. But Ellis Park, you're sort of guaranteed the same weather, that sticky ball at altitude. I didn't see this. I don't think anybody saw this coming. So whether Ellis Park's a fortress or not, you look at the results and you probably say, not really.
I mean, just on this game again, I don't think against All Blacks a fortress. You can't call a place a fortress if you're losing more than like maybe it's your sentimental value, but like obviously not a fortress for the Boks anymore. But like I think on the balance of our score predictions, if the South African side, the Springboks, actually went to the average of 22 entries, but so far this season it's been 5.7 points per entry or close to 6 points per entry.
Yeah.
The game or the prediction would have been spot on. But instead of that, they got 0.6, I think it was.
Yeah.
They had 22 entries.
Yeah, it always reminds me. Remember
they only scored 1 try.
Remember Eden Park last year also? We also got, was it last year?
Yes.
A lot of entries in the 22 meter. And the difference between that was in Wellington, we converted those.
Yeah.
Eden Park, we didn't convert, but we still had a lot of entries though. Yeah.
So that's exactly my question is that, so it's always twofold. It's one, the planning. Okay, your game plan that you want to go execute, and then it's in the execution.
Yeah.
Now, if we take those two and we rip it apart, we say from a planning point of view, and the plan that they went into this game with, I think was the right one.
It was the right plan, yeah.
But the execution, that is unfortunately just where we were lacking, because all of those stats that you've already mentioned, obviously you lose the game 33-16, but from a 22-meter entry, normally 22 visits per game.
Yeah.
We only, are you saying 11? The stat I had was 9.
Okay.
But again, far lower, 50% of what you normally have. Possession-wise, 51% possession, 60% territory.
That's the big one for me, the territory.
The territory, you know, and not being able to convert on that. 96 times carries, 96 carries versus New Zealand's 84. 286 post-contact meters to 195.
Yeah.
So in terms of stats,
cleaning up gain line.
If you're looking purely on stats, you say, okay, well, what was the result? Then you're certainly not going to get to 33-16 to New Zealand.
And that's where, you know, those metrics sort of throw you off, because the unforced errors is the one that kills you.
The 24 turnovers, I think we had. With all that possession and I think it was 24 turnovers.
23, 24. Turnovers lost, and you simply cannot hand over the possession to the All Blacks in such a manner and not get any return on your side.
You fast forwarded, why didn't we get reward? It's because every time we were building the pressure got relieved by a Springbok error in that red area. So you don't have that continual, okay, they've got to make an error, they're going to fall off a tackle, you've got to score a try. We didn't have the ability to build pressure for long enough periods. So it will be one of those frustrating games to watch for the Springboks. And then little things, you know, like that normally so good. Like you think of our deliveries off the lineouts. everyone was on Grant's left shoulder. He had to turn around every single time. Not a single one was like in front. The breakdown was very, very messy.
Yeah.
They got through to the 9, whether that was Reinach or Grant Williams, which disrupts your rhythm. You think about the amount of drop passes from the forwards out the back, when we run that little
the
play
pull passes at the back, we missed those a lot.
There was a lot of them that went down. Look,
most of them.
It wasn't catastrophic, but there was no rhythm or flow. And it's actually the first time, I think, in a long time that this Springboks side under Tony Brown didn't have a fluency on attack.
Yeah.
No, it definitely wasn't there. And again, that is what we will be looking at. Let's quickly talk personnel from a New Zealand point of view. Initially, before the game, I thought, Severe, Jacobson, Vai, compared to our loose trio combination, that we might have the edge.
Jacobson was good. They worked well as a combination.
I think all three of them worked well.
Nice combo. Vai, obviously, with their plan to go open side maybe once, twice, and then immediately dip back into the blind. Plus the fact that we obviously lost one of our back three early, Jesse Kriel on the wing. And I think we weren't quite as sharp as we normally are closing the blind. And obviously the way the Springboks set it up, Grant off set pieces does the blind. That offload was special off the left hand from Tupai. Jacobson, the things you don't really see, like ruck time. You think that Jasper Wiese incident where he cleans him out, gets to, is it Grant or Reinach?
It was Grant.
Grant still. Savia plays in big areas of the field.
That was Reinach.
So like turnovers, I think the surprise was obviously for me was, I think Fabian Holland put in a big shift on the weekend.
Scott Langs, he's there. I just thought,
and for me, when Bauer came on,
Bauer, Asafo, more the big hitters. Also, especially in the contact areas, they got their bench. I thought the bench made a big difference. Also, along with against our substitutions, but I thought in the beginning, they were getting out muscled properly. Scala, you saw Josh Law trying to carry, getting hit back. Fabian Holland trying to hit back. They're trying to do tip passes because we were going under the doubles. We managed to stop that. So in the beginning, they weren't getting parity in hairline hits. The post contact meters thingies. But as the game loosened up, it's little things like that kick when Will Jordan came through. That counter attack, all of a sudden that opens up. It
eventually led to the try.
Tupai attacking the blind side as an edge forward, getting the offloads away. So the more chaotic it became, it seemed like the better they got with compounded mistakes from us on attack.
I mean, they kicked more than the Springboks. It's a different kicking game. It's a long kicking game. It's an exit play, but also 50-22s, a couple of 50-22s. Quintapaya with the one, gone blank on the other one.
I think it was only the one.
It was only the one. Will Jordan, not Barrett, that kick down there off the turnover from, I think, from the line out or somewhere.
So Quintapaya, Will Jordan, special player, scores a double, has that line break, the only real big line break where you think, okay, the Springbok defence kick goes a bit long. There's no ruck. That would have been part of the All Black review. If the kick gets a bit long, then we play and try and attack.
53 tries now for Will Jordan.
That's crazy.
17 to go to get the international record outright.
We know who is starting to stress. Won't mention his name.
We won't mention his name. But it's interesting. Did you see the reaction of the New Zealanders after the game? No, only Holland was the one with the big celebration. The rest was shake your hand. We still got business to handle. It was interesting. You watched it. I was like, okay.
But it's also, it's nice when there's 10 minutes left in the game and you're winning. Which was kind of the case here.
They were coming at us at the end.
We go down to 13, and you just, you backtracking all the time. So the emotion is not really there. But it was a good observation. One more thing on New Zealand, Jordie Barrett. 15 tackles.
Not one.
5 turnovers. And I mean, he's a beast of a player. He was exceptional. And we spoke prior to the game also about that combination, him with Quintapaya, but I thought it worked really well for them. Good decision making, nice variety in terms of their.
Was it last week where we said like there's one player that if it's irreplaceable for the All Blacks?
It was Jordie.
It's Jordie.
And he kicking game, and you see he even got some line speed. I think he hit one of the forwards towards the end of the game. Gets to go forward, his distribution. He's probably the vice captain, I'd suppose. He's the vice captain of that team. So instrumental.
And then from a South African point of view, I mean, we had that shot of, they had the shot of 100 Pollard on screen there at one stage as well. Do we see wholesale changes for the weekend?
Well, I think we first cover Jasper Wiese's performance.
Yeah.
I mean, how good was he? I mean, a ball-carrying machine. He's the enforcer.
It's got to be the best 8 in the world. I'm trying to think who else carries like him. They kicked on him the whole time, made meters. I mean, he almost got a line break from a kick off the one. Remember?
He went down, stepped into touch.
As he stepped into touch. But geez, it's just what what I like about him, Skull, is the repeat effort. You know, probably earlier on in his career, before he left for England, he would always carry, but didn't have the repeat effort he has now. But he just keeps coming at you the whole time, running good lines, the line break. Remember, he made off, I think Grant Williams got him that line break. Then he ran into De Willemse once by mistake.
Yeah.
But he's impossible to stop. And also the fetching now on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, turnovers. Paul de Villiers was good in that first 20.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's 20 minutes gone. He had 11 tackles and two turnovers.
Yeah.
He was flying. Oxen chair. Haven't seen much of him.
Dominant in scrums.
So dominant. Volkulo dominant in scrums. I think it's a little bit less rosy if we go out the back.
Yeah.
Damian Willemse in the air. I mean, that first half, and after that, like he moved away from fullback, but he was incredible. He was supreme.
Yeah. We still had some good moments, and even that transition, you know, the one where he's out the air, and then transitions into attack.
Yeah.
We'll get into all of that. Okay, guys, by the sound of it, there is a lot to talk about. Before we get into the actual analysis, it's time for our Coca-Cola call-up story section, and today we're looking at 2. Babalwa Latsha, one of the ladies players for the Springbok women's team, and then we'll also be looking at Eben Etzebeth, Eben Etzebeth for the men. And
I thought you were going to Etzebeth there at one stage. Where we heading with this?
So let's start with Babalwa. And we actually, rather than asking the two of you what you think about Babalwa, and I'll get your opinion now, and what she must have gone through for her debut, we shall just hear from her with a lovely video that she shared with us.
I remember my first cap, which was something short of a decade ago, but I still remember the emotions and how raw it was, as if it was yesterday, and the amount of excitement, pride, and nervousness to don the Springbok women's jersey for the very first time. But I also felt a great sense of fulfillment in that a dream of mine was coming true, and a special path was starting, because for me as a young girl was growing up in Kaidija, it wasn't something that I saw every day, and so the importance of it was then to become a positive point of reference. And 42 caps later, we're still here and enjoying every moment of it, and still feeling and relishing the emotions of it as raw and as true and pure as it was then, as it is now.
There we go, Babalwa. Thank you very much for sending that in. A quick word on her.
She captained the team, I think.
She is the official captain now.
Current captain now. Yeah, she's been amazing. I'm not sure what is she playing overseas, though, Jean? I'm not sure.
She was the first, I think, professional player. You know, she played in Spain. For a club in Spain, first South African player to play professional, to get a contract over there. And I think that she was with Quins.
I think Harlequins. You're right. But she'll be one of the founding members, sort of the movement of women's rugby in South Africa.
The other guy that we will be featuring here today with our Coca-Cola call-up is none other than Eben Etzebeth. Most capped Springbok player of all time. A word on him, Shims?
Yeah, I remember doing commentary when he was playing for UCT Aki Tigers in the Varsity Cup. And I think it was 19. I think it's for 19, him and Hilton Roberts.
Yes.
And Sculler, you could just see, JDV, that this guy was too good for that level. Even then, you just, you know, there's certain, first, bloody aggressive in everyone's faces, athletic, good in the line-outs, and you just knew, you just sort of know, like, there's something special here. You know, he's too good. I was like, shucks, this guy could actually play carry cup at that age. You know, that's how good he was. And he certainly lived up to it. I don't know how many caps is it now. I don't even know the number. 143. And he'll get past 150 easily. Yeah. He'll get past 150
so I've got
easily.
the same story. Like, we did a pre-season for Stormers, and I went back there just before we went on holiday. Like, it was end of November or start of December. And John Smith phoned me up. He said, okay, when's holiday plans? Are we maybe hooking up? And he said, is there any decent youngsters like intake? And I said, yeah, there's one guy that I think is probably good enough to play for the Springboks already, and it was Eben Etzebeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There he is.
There. He looks happy there.
That's his happy
I'm scared of that
That's
can.
his happy face, yeah.
That can's intimidating me.
Yeah. So all of these collectibles available. So get your can. We don't have Babalwa's can here today, but she also features on one of them. See if you can collect all of them. There's Cheslin there as well. And if you want to, obviously, Eben, I was fortunate to be there when he made his debut for the Boks as well. If you want to find out more about him, go watch our episode in the fan van. Also remember, you can be part of Coca-Cola's Be a Bok campaign and receive a life-changing call-up by purchasing a participating Coca-Cola product, scanning the QR code, and entering. Listeners stand the chance to win instant prizes as well as the ultimate Coca-Cola Be a Bok experience. Buy your cans, scan that code, and who knows what can happen.
Today is a big day. We have the honor to buy South Africa's car.
Yes, sir!
Make her go YOLO and buy her.
YOLO!
Make her a deal on her Kia that makes her go.
Mamma mia!
Make him an offer on his Amarok that makes him say.
Viva!
For her hyena. That money must be in the bank account before they can say, darling, we're going to Morgan.
Yes!
Are you ready?
Yes!
Are you hungry?
Yes!
No. I ate at home. Chucky, you're not ready. The rest of you, buy South Africa's cars.
We buy cars. We're passionate about buying your car.
Let's get into the actual analysis. Guys, so when you play a game like this, you want to start well. So what I wanted to show, first of all, is just the way we started this game. You could see the intensity was there, the physicality was certainly there from the start.
This is the first real defensive set. And just look at the dominance, double hits.
Yeah.
The All Blacks play, and if you look at it, a lot of passes before there's a ball carry. So that's a double turnover. First marks, then I think it's Roygard gets it back. But as it plays on, you can see they want to get width. They want to get the outside backs in the game, get a little bit of an edge. That's normal how South Africa defend. Paul de Villiers says, I'll have your name. Look at the next couple of hits.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do, Scala, with that passing game, is they don't want South Africa to get the double. So what you want, and it's hard to react because if a guy takes it flat and then gives the pass, you're going to commit. It creates a bit, you're running in between the channels or in between the arms. Then you make meters though. But I thought the South Africans, we reacted well to that, to the forwards passing game.
Yeah.
You already seen there, the two times the forwards have had it, they've looked to link and pass to another guy to create that one-on-one so they can get gain line.
Also what I liked, we just looked so in control.
Yeah.
Like nice line speed, making the hits
Good
when it's there, but then
recycling.
in the outside channel, actually waiting for the right opportunity, making the hit, dominant hits, and then going for the turnover. I mean, here already we saw Malcolm Marx first, then Paul de Villiers on the ball, and then eventually it's a Jasper Wiese getting.
But the key
getting
there, look at
turnover.
what Wiese is, John, if you can go back there with Wiese does well. You never, on a double, the third guy is always the problem, but Wiese reads it well there because the ball's exposed. Generally say, guys, get the double, get up and be a nuisance there.
Yeah.
But he's the third guy, and if he doesn't make the right decision, then you're in a bit of trouble because it makes your line a bit narrower. So what Wiese does well, I like it. Look, you generally say, no, don't go in there because you don't want three guys in a breakdown. But his ability to read as the third guy, to actually make that right decision.
Yeah.
So there, 1-2 in, doubles made, but he makes that. It's because of the tackle and the double that creates that opportunity.
Yeah, it's just the dominance of that hit that basically takes the outside cleaner of New Zealand away.
Yeah.
I mean, look here, Sasha as a fly-off, the dominance.
It's good technique,
And
nice
the
and low.
two youngsters, Sasha, Paul de Villiers.
I like the recycling.
And look, I mean, 15 minutes into the game, kick, good under the high ball, and immediately into the transition. So the signs were there in the way that we started. But I mean, then like this, never ever any flow in our game and just too many
Yeah,
errors.
like it will be a theme. Yeah, I think Oxy gets a bit unlucky there. That's a bit of a strip.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were perfect. And I thought once we got into this rhythm, like defensively, because that's the one area where I thought if we don't have the right line speed and we make a couple of errors early, the All Blacks will string together passes, get width, which ultimately, it didn't really matter because they won the bigger moments. But Damien Willems in the air and you transition quickly, it all set up perfectly for the Boks to be so dominant and create a lot of pressure, which they did.
But what was interesting though is they went for a lot of strips. So the choke tackle, one guy low, the other guy comes here, and then he tries to rip the ball, and they got away with a couple of those, which the Springboks probably didn't expect.
And unfortunately, why we couldn't get any rhythm going was because of this, just the unforced errors. Now, we're highlighting a few here, but just to show, first 22-meter entry, 2.5 minutes into the game, you miss your line out. And then again, having a bit of a play, but just so sloppy after starting so well. Cheslin, what a step!
How's those? I mean,
this is all an advantage.
It doesn't matter who that defender is, like it's Jacobson, but you've got no chance.
No, you just fall on the ground, and say sorry.
Yeah, for me,
but check like that.
You look at the opportunity though. That ball lands in the corner. Chances are, you're making meters. You're in the 22 again on penalty advantage though. Also,
yeah.
And so I'm just going to play through, some of these examples of the errors. Here we actually get it back. You get into shape, but as we've already mentioned, just never any proper flow. Breakdown is messy. Ball's going to ground.
Look,
no rhythm.
To be honest, Tupovai can't swing around, put his foot, kick ground. But to my point, they got to ground, whether it was legal or illegal. The breakdown was a mess, but so too the scrum deliveries. And then you'll see often a pass like that previous clip, it's just on the back shoulder, it's not crisp enough. We didn't have the best rhythm.
And it was more like that individual brilliance from the guys than a collective shape that you got into. And how many times did we see that the ball out the back just going to ground and then you have to restart again?
Yeah, and Johnny, if you just pause it, this is the obstruction call. So Damien Willems has got nowhere to go. He wants to get out of the way. He was in the bottom of the ruck.
Yeah.
Tyrrell Lomax, which is John, the purser, is going around him. He's
out of position.
He's too tired. It's what you want to happen. Often they say, we saw the pre-match build-up, Richard Bands try, run at the referee. That's Cam Roygaard, so there's a big hole that's going to open up in between. If Jasper Wiese runs a meter wider, Lomax is in no position to make the tackle. He runs a meter wider, he's going straight through.
Straight through, offload, try. So look at this, and how many mistakes already? Line out the back, three out the back.
That's 4 on the 22.
Yeah.
So same thing here, we do well, and it's far later in the game. But again, you get the ball, and so much good. And this probably shows it best also. So much good. You get into the 22, but just no ability to convert.
Yeah, but again, keep your eye on the breakdown. See
Jacobson
how we're a little bit late. There's always someone in there. Great offload. There goes the once a winger over the gain line. And again, here's the big moments. This is where you think the Springboks is going to pulverize the All Blacks, and they just come up with an error that takes the pressure off. What a hit that is.
It's a good hit, yeah.
Jacobson handles Wiese and then gets to Reinach.
Because they actually went back. I think Carly overruled the TMO over that one, saying, listen, the guy don't have the ball. He said, look, he's in front of the ruck. I think that was the chat.
Yeah.
He's in front of the ruck or whatever. But are you allowed to do this, though?
See, so my view was that if it's only a tackle, okay, then you can't play. Then you can't play him. He doesn't have the ball. And if it's a ruck, then.
But Carly's explanation was, well, he mentioned something that he's in front of the ball, but said he is part of the ruck, or he's close enough to the ruck. He's within a meter of the ruck.
But, that's from the side. So if it is a ruck, then you can't play the 9.
And that's the next step, is where, how do you play the 9? Look,
but also, imagine every ruck, there's an opposition player within a meter, and you just kept hitting him back to the scrum off. You can't do that.
Yeah. No, so that was and such a good build up to that, and then it got stopped. So we're not going to go into all of the errors that we made. We know that we made so many, and later on through the clips that we'll watch, we will see more of that. what I'm trying to show here is the big moments in the game.
Yeah.
First time New Zealand gets into the 22, they score a try. So we'll be looking at the tries and then also those time frames where we saw a change in terms of the game and where the game swung the other way. Again, 8 minutes into the game, first entry into the 22, New Zealand score.
Everyone's in that mall. Did you notice? 12,
But also,
13.
yeah, Jean, if you go, can you go back to when they're throwing the ball, Scala? And I just saw something here. What they were doing is they were actually catching the ball, putting 3 guys in front.
Yeah.
So look here, Jean. Basically, look where the 2 guys so closest towards the touchline.
Yeah.
They're in front of the ball there. So now that ball gets transferred, and those guys go towards. Is that Malcolm?
Yeah, that's Malcolm.
So that's where you get the meters from there. But are you allowed to then have players in front of the ball when you're mauling there?
So they overload the front.
Yeah, they overload the front to try stop the maul stopping there.
Just check how well Oxy does there to actually fight and stay in.
Yeah.
So they've actually got Quinta Pie up the front, set move. You obviously see Jordie Barrett's in
Barrett's
there.
in there, yeah.
Will Jordan wanted to get involved. And if you look at it, like the threat's not really outside. Hence, Cam Roygard goes himself. They stay on the advantage line. But the theme since the England played against us is how quickly sides dip back into the blind.
Yeah.
That's where Kirtley gets the HRA with that little hit right there. And, can you be critical of Grant?
Yeah.
Ball watching?
I think
Is there a way where you just...
Because he's kind of on 2, he needs to mark 2 guys. It's so difficult. What I'm worried about
hard.
is...
You can't stand on his outside there because he just runs that line towards touch. Yeah.
And when they
Towards
go
the poles,
they go in between like that, I mean, if he gets a hand to that, it's a yellow card again. So I'm just, it was in between, but so difficult to...
I'm just saying it, like the whole All Black side there was...
And then more.
Was in the inside post. In the mall, 2 centres... Roygard carried, Jordan cleaned, he bounced back. There was no width threat.
And this is, again, our opportunity in the 22 mall didn't get going. We were lucky, I thought, here at the end to actually get the ball out because they got in between us and then they eventually, works hard to get the ball to the ground. And a simple play and then just overpowered. Again, ball to the ground.
Guys, it's not the cleanest, but there's proper intensity. And our ball carriers, they handled names. Every single one of them. If you pause it right there, you can see Moorby,
Love, Lomax,
Holland. That's it.
And, proper carry from...
Yeah, it's interesting. Even with the mauling, Jean, they commit so hard to stopping the maul.
Yeah.
We saw later on in the game where Visa coming around the corner because they commit. They're so what?
Yeah.
Generally in a maul setup, you don't want to give away that back ball.
Yeah.
But they're happy to give it away just to stop the maul. But there is opportunity to get around it there.
Okay, and then this one. So now we've had so many entries into the 22. Again, only the one try scored. New Zealand.
But we've been in control the whole time.
We've been in control.
Yeah.
New Zealand get another dig at it. Nice start to play. Momentum from first, second phase, and then the sweep back. But also taking into account we've rejigged our backline now.
I think you just pause.
Are we tight there?
We just pause our numbers a little bit on the blind. I know they hit it close, so your fold's natural. Like Jordie Barrett hits just outside the 15, so both your locks probably go. You don't have a lot of blind. But it's almost just there wasn't enough awareness, say, from Jasper Wiese in this case, that they're going down the blind. He actually takes an extra step, if you go back 2 seconds, that takes him out of the catch-up position. If it's possible just to go tiny little bit back. Just watch his last step, Jasper Wiese's. Look at him. Fine now you've got to go forward. Takes that extra step.
Yeah.
Takes him out of, and he's not there to catch up.
Yeah.
And also, I think at the time, like with our rejig, we didn't close enough quickly.
Exactly.
So our blindside winger will be across, but he's got to close back.
So JC was just a little bit.
He can't be across from the ball. He's got to stay inside of the ball.
But also look from the rack there. Just so show Jean. Just go back to the rack there. So you So, okay, player, yeah. So go back there. Look at the spacing around that ruck area. Wilco low, is he open side or is he blind side? So let's say he goes blind side there. That takes everyone out a little bit more.
Yeah, set the ruck.
Yeah, it's the ruck setting. I don't think the ruck setting's perfect. And if you get quick ball, sometimes it confuses guys on who you're going to ruck, especially if the outside cleaner managed to hit you, then 10 or 20 doesn't know where to move to, which is around the ruck area.
But as mentioned, again, Jesse gets there. Remember, look, let's also, I mean, Grant makes a tackle.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the offload, and we
Look,
we don't say anything.
The fact that, Vi takes out 2 people, handles the one, Jesse makes the hit.
Good skills from him.
It's amazing. The offload off the left, Moorby's on his shoulder. I mean, but that's what the All Blacks always creates. One player on the outside channels, they leave him there for a reason. You have that mismatch with backs. I think, we maybe could have worked back a little harder. The All Blacks, when they get into that vacuum, it almost looks like we don't have line speed, but they jump the gun massively. Like for Jordie Barrett to get into that vacuum, like he jumps the gun pretty much when the ball's thrown into the lineout.
They came into our area, 22-meter entries, and they scored points. This day, and I'm playing it now, look at the time. Sorry, I'm going to go back here.
31 minutes.
I'm going to go back
from
a little.
31 minutes till the 59th minute, this is the picture.
But this is first what I want to show before halftime. So there you see 31-50 to halftime.
Yeah.
The dominance that we have.
Count the penalties though.
Yeah. Scrum penalty, more penalty, playing the supporters, the lifters.
So scrum,
You'll
2 line out.
But for me, it's not only the
Another
first
penalty,
penalty.
yeah?
You get another penalty advantage for being offside or not rolling away.
Again, just
Those are the ones that didn't
ball to
land.
ground again.
Second penalty advantage.
Okay, another penalty. There we see already 33 minutes in, 9 penalties conceded already, and on no
scoreboard.
warning, nothing to go with it. Then we have the non-try from Malcolm Marks. I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Another big moment here. Then you go in halftime, 2012.
You score that try, it's a different ball game.
It's a big moment you spoke about. This is a big moment.
And normally that is the surefire try for Malcolm Marks.
So again, Jordie Barrett does phenomenally well,
Yeah.
Dislodges the ball.
That is, I mean, they were on a team warning for early hits, and that was so close for an early hit, the Malcolm Marks try.
Yeah.
Like they play him in the air. Like hit them in the air.
No, so they could, and I suppose that's the other thing is that you go. I'm just going to put it back to normal speed.
So,
you go back to that actual maul.
I mean, and to my point is, when did you give the referee the ultimatum that he doesn't have an out?
Yeah.
Like I think this is where the reward should have
But
come.
are you saying it's an early hit, Skulk?
So they were on a team warning for playing.
Look where that hand is.
But
Look, is that Josh?
Look at Jacobson, yeah. Look at his hand.
But even Josh Lord there. Look where his hand is there.
That
Is
hand
Josh Lord
around
there?
the leg.
Yeah.
Around the leg, and now look here. Stabilizing yourself on the ground.
Okay, yeah.
It's 2 penalizable.
Yeah.
In one more.
In one more. Now again, it didn't happen. We should have scored the try.
Yeah, sure.
Look, it's a different field if it's on penalty advantage.
Yeah.
Then we go back and then we can go again, or have the scrum or whatever it is. But now there's 2 things that are illegal.
I mean, what you can't take away is from their desire. Like the All Black desire, the intensity and the defense is incredible.
What happens after this, though, incredible, talk about incredible, getting the stability at scrum time and this exit.
Yeah, so
Under massive pressure.
Severe does
and
well.
how's this kick from Roy
It's a good kick.
How is that exit?
How does he buys himself time by running backwards a bit, and then he's flipping smash? That's a great kick.
We have a go again. Fantastic in our execution.
Yeah,
Cheslin in the air.
yeah.
back in their 22.
Yep.
And then this skulk shimmy. We've created momentum. We're on top of them.
Why?
This is just, and we do it so many times. This is our almost bailout option, hoping that we can get something.
And this is Andre Esterhuizen's one kick of the.
And then it goes, and then it goes out on the full.
We're still in it though.
Yeah.
You're still in it. You're feeling it's coming. It's coming.
And this theme continued till the 60th minute.
Yeah. Well, that's why. And I'm just playing it at double speed now. Again, messy racks. You have a go. Damien goes. Ball to the ground.
Yeah, every time.
Have to reset.
But I always wonder,
But check that momentum.
We're doing the pull a lot, but we're actually dominating gain line.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just stay on top of them, hold the ball, keep going, and then the opportunity will come.
Everyone who did a pull on the weekend, the ball out the back, stood still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to be in motion, run, and while you're moving, you make the pass. It's so much easier when you're going forward than to stand still technically. You're always going to have that ability to duck hook it when you're not in motion. You've got to be fluid when you do it.
And I'm playing this now at double speed just to illustrate again. We're there. Okay, same thing.
John, sorry, that delivery, that was what we saw. So there is pressure. But hence, you get Grant, the ball's on his left or it's low. He's got to dip himself because he doesn't have a clean. So there's aerial pressure. But that delivery happened every single time. So from there, Grant can't pass the ball to where he wants to. And if he does get it there, it's slow or it's on the next runner's left hip. So you don't have that ball in front of you feeling. 9 at the deck, so we've got to put up an extra phase before we exit.
I mean,
because ideally there they would have played Paul de Villiers, takes it up. Nice rack, put it they play de Villiers, Grant puts it up, and then you get into your chase lines.
Well, again, aerial battle. Get it there, work rate to get there. Chesner makes a tackle, force him out. 1 minute to go before half time. Your best ball carrier loses the ball. A strip.
And that
after one phase.
That works perfectly to our plan.
Just leave it on pause there.
At Ruben Love, isolated, have a go, get him behind them.
But look where the New Zealand pack is, though, Scala. If that ball comes out quickly,
you're walking over.
You're walking over. Look. I mean, that's
Morby.
That's Morby there. That's Morby
there.
there.
Second to last defender.
McKenzie would have been on his outside. That's it.
Second to last
that's
defender.
That's a try.
Perfect plan.
And also, remember we spoke about the overcommitting at the mall. That's exactly the perfect play you want against them.
But we don't get any points. We go into halftime, only 1 point up. Yes, the psychological advantage of that, but it could have been so much more different.
Give her the weather the storm there properly.
Okay, then the
storm's still going.
And so now we're 5 minutes into the second half. A change in strategy to go for dominance from a scrummaging point of view, to go for the... And again, 45 minutes, I'm going to play this through and look where we're at after 48 minutes.
But I understand, if you get the scrum advantage there, can the flank play the scrum off? No, because it actually kills the play.
No.
So you should be allowed to have the free play.
So again, they asked Matthew Carley, and he said the ball was picked up. He picked the ball up, and he was bound. Jacobson doesn't stay bound. If the scrum's going backwards, he jumps off. He's not like other flankers nowadays who get stuck in there. He's more like some of us back in the day. This, for me, is the actual turning point. John, there's a bit of technical nous here. So the whole game... Holland's been on the open side. Okay, and we'll get to the offside now. Grant can't see him. He comes from the blind side. So he would normally be where Terrell Lomax, number 3, is now, on the open, try and get on the foot. He comes from the blind. He's unsighted to Grant. Still doesn't know how he gets to Grant from that side. Charge down. We saw Eben Etzebeth with a charge down. He was blown for jumping the gun. Go through that in slow-mo, see if he jumps the gun.
Yeah, it's probably not the correct angle that we have here, but I suppose that is the best. That is almost the best picture that we will see. So, are we saying, is he onside here?
Will Jordan's part of that ruck, right?
Jordan's part of the ruck.
So then he can't be. That is Will Jordan on my right, yeah.
Has he picked up the ball? Has he lifted the ball?
No.
And that picture doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Again, it happened, but the picture doesn't look good from that point of view.
You know, like this, we've seen this so many times in these games. If you decide to go for the 3 points, you've got to be able to handle exits.
Yeah.
Because you take the pressure off. If you think of, and I know like it's old school mentalities, go for the three. I think you've got to be brave if you want to beat the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Like you've done a scrum warning, done a line-out warning, but like you take the 3
Keep the
points,
pressure,
you almost take the pressure off. Like it's a relief for them to get away from where they've been at.
Because so much dominance, but you're 19-16 down. And again, aerial battle won that.
Yeah.
Get it back. I mean, we stay right on top of them, yeah.
Just have a look at those breakdowns every single time. There's never like a clean, defined place of the ball.
It's gamesmanship where, Scala, you know those breakdowns where you can manage
Hold
the
it
ref.
in or they grab
Hold it
your
until the
arm.
ref warns you, then you're out. But the damage has been done already.
Jasper
So even
Wiese
that was Bauer there. That was Bauer the previous rack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so frustrating. Imagine for these players and the coaches, because the plan worked, and you then have skill execution issues. Which the nice thing about skill execution issues is that you can actually fix it. You can make them better. You know, it's not a work rate effort.
So now we're 51 minutes in, and
They've
think back to 31 when we saw 31 minutes.
Their only entry was a kickoff charge down.
Charge down. We have been camping here, and now it's like now you're feeling okay.
We're on it now.
But then what happens from here onwards?
But if you think about it in the Springbok coaching box, you're thinking we've had them under pressure. They've conceded so many penalties in the 22. Something's got to give. So stay there until you get a yellow card and possibly a try.
He says short, then he says not short.
Yeah,
Hold up.
short and then held up.
This is the third one.
Yeah.
Says play it.
So see, that I never understand. Oh,
Yeah.
But that scrum went down also.
Yeah. It says play it away. Guys, we can't take anything away from their work rate.
defensive set.
Their
Yeah.
I mean, it's heroic.
Their desperation. So
But it's another penalty advantage. That's with that penalty, that's 3. And they call us back for a forward pass.
So if you combine this with the penalties in the 22 from the first half
Yeah.
and the second half, now what number are we on now?
They are on 13 already.
Yeah, I think that 14. And I think this was the area where we probably should have put more pressure on on the referee. But I mean, then this scrum, Shimmy, this is probably the correct angle to have a look at it.
Yeah, John, I think you just got to be in his ear and remind him the whole time of what's happened. You must remind him of how many penalties there have been. What is the picture we're seeing? You give him an ultimatum that there's no exit for him. You know, you can't have a soft out.
Shims, Steenekamp gets blown eventually, yeah?
Yeah, and look, in my opinion, he stays connected to the hooker.
So what do we look at if if you're going to penalise him? What are the characteristics of walking around?
Look at his backside and that left foot stepping out quite drastically there.
That left hip's got to change.
Yeah, and he loses his connection to the hooker. So there he keeps going. He's connected to Malcolm the whole time.
Shimmy, that's a reset all day.
Yeah, that's a reset. Because if you look on the other side, Bauer actually gets underneath Walker. So the scrum actually turns like that. It's not forward dominance from New Zealand. For me, that's a reset, if anything.
Also, post that scrum, this picture probably tells a big story.
Yeah.
Rennie smile on his face versus obviously a lot of unhappiness there in terms of that decision.
And this is where our rope-a-dope term came from.
Yeah.
Because then you go penalty against you. They get into our half, and the momentum all of a sudden goes to the All Blacks.
Bit of a kicking battle.
Yeah, they started doing a lot right now.
Yeah.
They came alive. Obviously, the substitutions have been made. The scrum became more stable.
And we do well. But then now we're on 57 minutes. Good kick execution. 1 or 2 missed tackles.
Yeah, but John, the guys at the back of the ruck, that's the thing with kicking contestables. The guys at the back of that ruck have to run towards the open side to cover, so you give you numbers there. So imagine they do catch the ball. There was numbers missing. Chances are those guys didn't work hard to come around the outside to cover that space.
Also, it's always when there's an offload.
Yeah.
There's got to be a ruck to buy you a bit of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're playing through it because we're running out of time, but how well did Damien Willemse do there to chase down
to chase back?
Yeah.
Damon McKenzie?
But I mean, what we need to illustrate is that now suddenly, okay, boom, we were on the attack all the time. They get one opportunity.
Yeah.
One opportunity to counter-attack, get in there, and now suddenly 65 minutes
on the run now. We've got to chase.
From a defensive point of view, that was way too easy, guys.
Yeah.
I know it's a 5-meter scrum, and I know Sevilla is a threat, and he picks and he drives, leg drives, but you've got to get around the corner. You've got to have an extra number, get more width, and put away Jacobson.
The double steal.
And then again, that Will Jordan, where yes, scored 2 tries, but it's still, and then if we put it into normal speed, he gets a steal, Reinach rips it back, and he gets another steal. Relief pressure,
big momentum shift.
Get back into our area.
But
even this we had, I mean, the tackle.
I know they made a big thing about it, guys. The replay shows it all. He hits him on the shoulder, and I know I'm old school, and I know we've been put on a diet that anything that looks like a high shot should be a yellow card. I don't think there's anything in it. It's a whiplash from the neck. So if this happens this weekend, South African smokes Ardie Sevilla and his head comes forward and it clips his chin, I don't want to see anything.
No,
I don't
exactly.
want to see a penalty.
The hit was here.
I don't want to see a yellow card.
But so I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
This is where it ended. If there's any chance of a comeback, probably
It ended right here.
Yeah.
Because now suddenly what happened, great decision once again from Jordie Barrett to kick it through.
Yeah.
We slow it down, and now we look at a couple of things. One, the tackle.
Let's play on, eh?
There's even a better angle somewhere. We can see the impact is on the left shoulder. And then when you get to the yellow card, I mean, how much different is what Marco van Staden does to...
Just there's
just a bit of whiplash. He dips his head there.
Yeah. So there is contact, but the first contact on the shoulder, that's what it was, yeah.
And what do you think? How much different is this to what Luke Jacobson did?
Yeah. So he's behind again. He's on an onside position.
The ball's in the air, no?
And those will be those will be. Obviously, Jordan scores after this as well. Kobus Reinach gets a yellow card as well, and we go down.
Mani Libok was lucky.
Mani was, that was
so lucky.
Close.
He did exactly the same.
Yeah.
Straight off the back of that.
It could have been down to 12.
Yeah, for me, that was, if they ever had a chance of a comeback, chances are it would have been maybe there with, 10 to go. But from then, once the yellow started coming up, I was like, the instability at the scrum. They started to get the scrums squad. They got parity at scrum.
It's how fine is the margins?
Yeah.
Sevilla maybe tackles a little bit high. That's a yellow card then. First contact's not on the shoulder.
Yeah.
The game changes there from them being up 26-16 to the Springboks with a man advantage getting down into their half. Instead, they score 7. We get 2 men in the bin, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's one of those games, Scala, if you look at Jean, from a New Zealand point of view, is that sometimes it's just guts and determination and fight. and somewhere above the sky, things go your way,
Yes.
and the decisions, the big moments go your way. But they'll look at this and say, Chivas, New Zealand will look at this and we are under the pump.
Yeah.
We got mauled. We got scrummed. We lost post-contact meters, but we did one or two good things. And when the opportunity came,
Yeah.
we took it.
Yeah.
And that was the difference.
What needs to change on the weekend?
Execution.
Well, I think our team will change a fair bit. I know it's going to get announced apparently quite earlier. Cape Town, there's a bit of rain about. We've seen in past, if that happens, Henry Pollard gets it in, whether that's in the 23 or that's a start. Execution is key. And like the problem with that lack of execution is you take the, you knife is in, but it never gets turned.
Yeah.
There's an out. And you get rewarded if you're the All Blacks for a great defensive set. And that energy that you give the opposition eventually feeds them and they grow an arm and a leg. And the All Blacks side, I don't know if we've just come across like giving them, they need a lot of praise for that performance.
Yeah.
That was
Well done to them,
unbelievable. That was heroic
Yeah.
For their guts. But that was expected. Like that was a minimum requirement of going to Ellis Park and trying to get a result from the All Blacks was like, you can't die wondering, we might not be able to compete with certain facets of the box, but we've got to be tight as a group, and they were incredibly tight.
Yeah. For me, it's we lack connection at times. You look at attack, the connection, the pull passes at the back, good work from the forwards, and then something happens. So probably we lacked a bit of connection. You look at selection, look at Pollard Sasha, it's his home ground, he plays there every weekend, 10 months of the year. So selection will be very interesting though, but I don't think there was a personnel issue this game. I think it was a connection and execution area. If you look at that team, we could have won that game easily. And we've seen this movie, but you hate to go back to the past. I saw between Eden Park and thingy, but changes were made and Wellington, but the connection was better in Wellington.
Yeah.
Whereas this time we probably lacked a bit of connection.
Are we by moment of the week? What do we go for? And will it be the first time that it's a non-South African moment? Because, well, not non-South Africa, I think that's Scrum. That Scrum was a we-buy moment of the week because everything turned
Between
on
that and Lord's, Holland's charge down.
Yeah.
So which one do you go for?
Scrum.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Silly question.
Okay. Our Betway section. For this momentous series, Betway have created a momentous offer giving away 1 million rand for each test match for whoever predicts the correct score. Let's see who came closest to us. Obviously, all three of us got the prediction wrong. 30 points to 17, 35-30, 35-28, 35-30.
All wrong.
But Shimmy, you got it horribly wrong because you've got a 30 points difference in terms of the scores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you lose out today. You'll be doing a forfeit for Boks Unpacked. On
Lovely.
Thursday.
Lovely
The
show.
forfeit's back now.
Well, you have
We
not
never
done
said-
one. We're running out of time, guys. We must be better with our Betway prediction. If you 50 Rand bet for this weekend, you get the score correct and the result, and you can win either a million rand or a share of a million rand if it's more than one person that gets it correctly. Our honest verdict for this performance.
I think it's a hard one. I think I'm always more positive. From a coaching perspective, the plan worked. We got reward out of kicking game, mauling, scrumming. Physicality, post-run meters show that. So I think from a coach's perspective, it was spot on. I would say, the plan worked, so that's a 8.5, 9, but then skill execution was proper poor, and you see that with drop passes, 24 unforced errors. You can't beat the All Blacks like that. So unfortunately for me, it's got to come down to a 6.5.
6.5?
6.
6?
Yeah. Look, it's number 1 and 2 in the world. You need to be on top of your game.
And
I
respectful
think
of
with
the opposition,
Yeah, so I just thought, the plan was right. I thought selection was right. Home ground. We had everything in our favor. Good conditions. Yeah, the skill execution. And look, we'll fix it. I'm positive. How do you fix that scrum, the New Zealand scrum, in a week?
Yeah.
But they'll be better off for it for a lot of those guys who've experienced that cauldron and the confidence in the New Zealand team. That's what slightly worries me about this weekend. And Cape Town, not at altitude. Sometimes the wind, the conditions. I'm worried about this weekend, but I'll probably go 6.
6 out of 10 for that performance. Thank you very much, guys.
What's your verdict?
6 out of 10 it is. 6 out of 10. We went a bit long here today. Not the result we wanted, not the performance we wanted from the Boks, but still so much positive to take into week 2 as well. Well done, New Zealand, for an incredible performance in week 1. We've got 3 more test matches left. Subscribe to our channel, watch all the live action on SuperSport, and we will see you back on the verdict next week, Tuesday. And don't miss Boks Unpacked on Friday to have our preview for RGR game number 2 in Cape Town. See you then. Cheers.